I'm Nikola Lezaic from Bor, Serbia. I'm a film director and the Tilva Ros is my first feature. And the idea came from a jackass-like film that the main actors, I mean the kids from the film made a couple of years ago, and it was called Crap Pain is Empty, and it's kind of you know, like a 1 hour long jackass kind of stunts and a lot of really creepy and weird stuff that they did, and some skating which they also did in the film. And I just got a DVD from a friend and I was very excited watching it, and kind of felt, you know, like I was 26 at that moment, and it kind of really felt like, you know, while watching it, that I lost something, you know, like in these 7 years or something, because you tend to think that you kind of don't lose anything at that point. You're still like cool, going to concerts, having fun and everything, but it was kind of you know, it was seen like kids having 19, 18 years old and having the best time of their lives, and I just wanted to have that kind of feeling again, you know. Well, you know, it's kind of a really ridiculously hard to, you know, like to live and grow up in Serbia. I mean, it's kind of really ridiculously hard to grow up anywhere, but you know, when you grow up in a situation when there's like, you know, wars and bombings and some kind of weird situations with money and no jobs for kind of always, you kind of start thinking that it's normal, and you guess that after sometimes this normal, these things that are really not normal and are normal for you become kind of an you know, like just the way you live. So like our parents and my parents and the people who lived in, you know, former Yugoslavia and everyone, they know, and they kind of know what they lost. But I mean, my generation and especially their generation, they just grew up in a totally different country, in totally different surroundings, and everything is normal for them, and they're just looking forward to look for something, you know. They're not kind of rebels like, you know, like in you know, in Barcelona, as you said, or somewhere else. Yeah, they don't have these kind of reasons. They just have the reasons for, you know, like looking somewhere and looking for something, you know, looking for some kind of a future, and looking for and trying to stay what they are, you know. Because I know when I was 19, I just wanted to. I knew that it's gonna end, you know, somehow, and I knew that it's kind of a best moment you can have, you know, like having your friends all together, and you know. When you grow up in a small town in Serbia, especially, you just have to go to Belgrade to do whatever, you know, to go to school, to find a job or anything, because everything is in Belgrade. So in the end, you know that your company is gonna break up. Of course, yeah, they know all these films, and I mean they're even more into these just real skater films, and I think Stefan has one of the biggest depicts collections of skater films I've ever seen. I think he has like 500 skater films or something, and they're, you know, like all the time watching it, you know. Oh wow, look at this trick, you know, he did flip nollie something 360 whatever, which I really have no idea what it is, you know. Yeah, they were kind of, yeah, you're all in this whiny, you know, acoustic music. They just wanted some, you know, heavy metal. They're more into heavy metal and punk, you know. Well, I mean, I also like punk, and that's kind of cool. But I just wanted to have this. All the music that we had in the film were, I mean, almost everything except for Panda Bear was Creative Commons. Yeah, and Creative Commons music except for Panda Bear and Privacy. Privacy is a girl from from Portland, and she and her ex-husband made this marriage records in Portland, and they gave us also music for free, and they're really cool, and her music is really brilliant. And I've heard her through, you know, like these mixtapes that Bradford Cox from Deer Hunter makes, and that's the place where I've heard a lot of the music that I afterwards put into the film. And Noah from, the Panda Bear, he was also very cool about giving us the rights for Confia Nautica, which ends the film. Well, it's not actually closed, but it's really working really badly. It was, I think, the biggest copper mine in Europe in 70s and the beginning of 80s, and afterwards, you know, with the decline of former Yugoslavia, it also when we had the sanctions, they couldn't, you know, like sell their ore to anyone and the copper to anyone, so they couldn't, you know, like have new equipment, and afterwards they, you know, so if they didn't have new equipment, they couldn't, you know, like have prices that are good enough for, you know, like low enough for like other mines could make. So actually they're working, but it's not kind of a, you know, work as in the 70s. So a lot of people gotta have no job now in Bor, and it's kind of really tough time for them there. But you know, Bor always, in Serbia, it's kind of a symbol for you know, like prosperity in the 70s and the total you know, like decline in the 90s and 2000s, you know, like it's like a place where I'm born, and it's a beautiful place, and it's like people are very funny, and they have this great sense of humor, and you know, like on their own account and everything, and they're not sad, you know, even though it's kind of problematic. I mean, and I think it's kind of a, you know, like it kind of became obligatory to see something depressing from Serbia, and I think it's kind of a really dull picture, and we're really not depressing people, you know, depressive people. It's kind of tricky because it's much bigger than this one, and it's kind of set in 50s, and it's Dalmatia and Italy and the ship, and it's kind of again a friendship kind of story, and the travel kind of story about, you know, like running away from something and trying to find something, but in the end, like figuring out that you know, like you're always escaping your own problems and like leaving them all behind, but they kind of haunt you and everything. But it's kind of really, it's still really vague, because I know the feeling I want to make, but I'm still not sure. You know, there's a lot of historical and political things they have to, you know, like first figure out, and about, you know, Trieste in 50s, and, you know, Dalmatia in 50s, and, you know, all these kind of things. But I think it's kind of cool, and I want to have this pre-hippie kind of feeling in it, and I think it could be really cool and really nice and totally different. Yeah, I'm glad that it's kind of getting back together. You know, we had a really important cinema earlier, but now last 10-15 years we're kind of there was nothing very important out of Serbia. I don't know, I really have no, there's, you know, this term that someone thought of, like a new Serbian cinema or something, but I'm not sure if I feel as a part of something, because I never felt as a part of anything, but you know, it's good that there are young people doing very, you know, different kind of films, and I think it's very important not to make, you know, like not to have a wave of you know, like similar films. It's very important to have totally different films, which is what Serbia has now. You know, like we have kind of exploitation films, and we have a very you know, like arty dramas and musicals and stuff, which is really cool. And I don't know, I hope so. I hope that in the next couple of years there's going to be, and I know that in the next couple of years there's going to be a wave of teenager films. There's like 3 or 4 teenager films that are already shot and in editing, or are going to be shot, or a lot of. So I think that a lot of young people are doing something that they know about. So it's kind of, I think it's going to be really nice.